Hello again, this is Phil Grigsby here with the National Weather Service. It's 2 o'clock now, so we'll get into the briefing. It's going to be pretty short and sweet, so that'll be good. So let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so the quick overview here is that we have quiet weather conditions persisting through Saturday. The one issue with that is, unfortunately, we actually have a bit of a drought going on in some of our areas, and that's worsened slightly across portions of southeast Louisiana since last week. The good news is that the drought should be easing a bit because we're going to have a couple of rounds of rain moving through next week. The first round should move through Sunday into Monday, especially like Sunday night and into the morning hours on Monday. And then the second round looks like it's going to be possible on Wednesday. The other thing is we got our typical spring rise on the Mississippi River that's taking place, and it will continue through next week. We're not really expecting any significant impacts, fortunately. The only point in our area that is expected to go into minor flood by tomorrow, actually probably by tonight, to be honest, late tonight, is going to be at Red River Landing there in Point Capee Parish, and that's going to last through the week next week. It should crest a couple of feet above flood stage as we get into late next week around the 19th. But really it's not going to be any significant impacts even from that. So we'll move on to the next slide. So this is the drought monitor. I posted this here. You can kind of see where the drought conditions are currently across southeast Louisiana. It's basically coastal Louisiana where we have a moderate drought. And so that's going to be more of an agricultural concern down there more than anything for some of the guys that are getting ready to do the sugarcane farming and stuff like that, and some of the orchards potentially down there in like Lower Plaquemines Parish and those areas. The rest of it, the drought conditions are kind of beginning to onset. It's what we call abnormally dry for areas getting a little closer to New Orleans into the river parishes and along the Atchafalaya Basin there. Which I know is also a very agricultural area. So this is going to be more of an agricultural impact for the farmers in your parishes. The good news is, like I said, we're going to have some rain moving in, and that should help to ease these drought conditions. Currently in Mississippi, there are no drought conditions in our area, and this rain should hopefully ease that. I do know that Pike County, if they're on, I'm sure you guys obviously coordinate with Mississippi Forestry, that there's a burn ban there because of the dry conditions. But hopefully this rain will help kind of ease those concerns a bit as we get into next week. So speaking of the rain, here's the rainfall totals. This is going to be valid from Sunday through Thursday of next week. So it's a pretty good rain that we're expecting, a good soak. Most areas should see around an inch of rain, but a few areas could get up to 2. So I'll say generally 1 to 2 inches of rain are forecast during that Sunday to Thursday time frame. The first round of rain is going to be probably closer to a half an inch to an inch. That's going to be that Sunday night into Monday. And then probably closer to an inch of rain, I would think, as we get into Wednesday. It looks like that system could at the front kind of maybe lay out across us and bring us a little more extended duration of rain, which will be good for our area, given the fact that we are kind of in a drier or almost, basically drought-like pattern across the region right now. The good news is the severe thunderstorm chances look very low next week. It looks like the first system that's going to be going through Sunday into Monday. The main severe threat is going to stay north of our area. If we were up in Monroe or Shreveport, we should be a little bit worried. But down here, it doesn't look like it's going to be that big of a deal. We might have a stronger storm that develops, but right now the severe potential looks really, really low. And then the Wednesday system, there's still some uncertainty on that one. It depends on how exactly it's going to be moving into the area. And so right at this point, there's pretty low confidence on that Wednesday event. We'll let you guys know what's going to be up with that as we get into, early next week. We'll have a lot better idea. And if we do need to do any updates or anything like that, or if we do get Outlook, then we'll obviously send some emails out to you guys. And if there's things that change. So as far as just the general outlook, since there isn't really much else to talk about, temperatures are expected to be near to maybe slightly below average next week, and that's mostly just going to be due to the fact that we have the rain in the area, but it's not going to be cold by any stretch of the imagination. We'll just have highs. Instead of being close to 80, they'll be close to 70. which is pretty typical for this time of year, and maybe the upper 60s by the end of the week. And overnight lows will be pretty close to average the whole time. We're not expecting any freezes or anything like that. And then the rainfall outlook for next week, as far as rainfall chances, it looks like slightly above normal rainfall is what we're thinking across the area, but nothing that's going to be excessive or extreme or cause any significant flooding issues or anything like that. The ground is going to be able to handle all the rain that we get, so we're not expecting the rivers to really respond in any way from this rainfall next week. So here's the last slide before the summary. So this is just the Mississippi River forecast for that Red River landing gauge there in Point Coupee Parish. You can see the river is almost at flood stage, 47.9. So actually, it looks like it'll probably get above flood stage even by this evening. And it should crest right around 50 feet or about 2 feet above flood stage. This doesn't really cause any significant impacts in Point Coupee or West Feliciano or Parish in Louisiana or in Wilkinson County in Mississippi. The only thing is some of the fish camps, hunting camps out there on some of those river islands and the associated access roads to those river islands. That's going to be the area where you're going to have some flooding. So obviously people that are planning on hunting and fishing, they may not be able to get out to their camps, at least by car. They might be able to get out there by boat. But that's about it. That's really the only big concern with that. It's not going to cause any significant issues, really, as far as emergency management operations go. So the summary of impacts, we're expecting quiet weather through Saturday. Of course, that drought, that's more of an agricultural concern, like I said, has worsened slightly. The good news is we're going to have the rain move in next week, and that should ease conditions. 2 rounds of storms, one really Sunday night into Monday, and then the other one on Wednesday. Low severe chances at this point. So we'll just keep an eye on it. If there is going to be any, I would be more concerned with Wednesday with that system middle of next week. And the spring rise on the Mississippi River continues. We're not expecting any significant impacts. Just those minor flood conditions at River Landing north of Baton Rouge.